Joining us now is Okpe with stories trending around the world. Hello, Jinx.
Good morning, Dr. Abati. Why are you laughing today? He loves it. He just loves it. Rufai, we forgot to wish you a happy birthday on Friday. I want to say happy birthday on behalf of the entire Arise team. Happy birthday, Rufai.
Thank you. Thank you. It means a lot to me, Audrey.
Well, all right.
Thank you.
Good morning to you, viewers. Here are some of the stories that are trending across the globe. In the United States, Parag Agrawal, the CEO of Twitter, announced over the weekend that Tesla CEO Elon Musk won't be joining Twitter's board of directors, as previously announced. The tempestuous billionaire remains Twitter's largest shareholder. The announcement followed a weekend of Musk's tweets suggesting possible changes to Twitter, including making the site ad-free. In Germany, some 2,000 pro-Russian supporters marched through the city of Frankfurt amid demonstrations backing President Vladimir Putin's war against Ukraine. Over the weekend, a 350-car motorcade set off from the city of Hanover and was greeted by 700 counter-demonstrators pledging their support for Ukraine. Russia! 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 Indonesia. Protesters, including members of parliament, on Sunday took to the streets to accuse President Kais Saied of imposing a one-man rule in the North African country after he dissolved the parliament last month. The protesters stood against the heavy presence of anti-riot police. In Nigeria, Vice President Yemi Osibanjo declared his intention on Monday to run for the highest office of the land, setting social media abuzz.
Dear Nigerians, I am today, with utmost humility, formally declaring my intention to run for the office of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria on the platform of our great party, the All Progressives Congress.
And the story of Baba Onilu, a street drummer whose charming smile was captured through the lenses of a youth corps member and was sold as a non-fungible token for 0.3 Ethereum each, went viral over the weekend after Adisa Olashile, the youth corps member, shared the video where he gifted the drummer 50% of the money gotten from the NFT sale. Under sports, Ferrari driver Charles Leclerc took a dominant victory in the Australian Grand Prix over the weekend to move into a commanding first-place position in the World Championship, while his main rival, Max Verstappen, retired with a technical failure on his Red Bull, the second time in 3 races. Mexico's Sergio Perez came in second place after winning battles with Mercedes drivers George Russell and Lewis Hamilton.
If you give your heart to me, I no go let you go. Where I no go do you, basa baby, trust me.
Finally, under entertainment, Nigerians took to social media over the weekend to congratulate multiple award-winning musician Oluwatosin Ajibade, who goes by the stage name Mr. Easy, and actress Temi Otedola, daughter of billionaire businessman Femi Otedola, on their engagement. The duo have been dating since 2017 and have made the list of Nigeria's favorite couples. A short video clip of the proposal posted by Temi Otedola on Twitter has gone viral.
I go do your body like skin tight. Where I go do by your side. 10 times when I don't get to sneak out. You did by my side. So make I do your body like skin tight.
Oh, congratulations. How cute was that?
So romantic.
I loved it. Well, let's begin what's trending. Over the weekend, the Kaduna State Government reacted to a video showing officers of the Nigerian Army parading alleged terrorists and stacking them up like sardines in the truck of vehicles after a successful raid in Chikun Local Government Area of Kaduna State. Well, amid the outrage emanating from the video that has now gone viral on social media, the Kaduna State Government said that they are still awaiting operational feedback conducted across various locations of interest in the state. Well, let's take a look at the video before we come back for a discussion.
The video is quite confusing. A lot of arguments here. Were the people dead? I mean, how did they do that with humans? Yes, I understand that they are terrorists, but people are saying, you know, they do have rights as well, Tundu Abiola. Nobody is pledging for them at this point. But I don't think that, you know, if they are the Nigerian Army, they should be conducting themselves in that manner. We're still waiting for feedback. We'll just pull up a video of the soldiers jubilating after that raid before we discuss. I want to congratulate our troops as well, though, for the victory.
Our valiant troops, they're doing a great job. But yes, that video is really confusing. I cannot imagine how they can have people lying on top of each other so closely and the people on the bottom don't suffocate. I'm not quite sure how that happened. I'm not sure exactly what we're watching here. But I think the point needs to be stressed that we all are guaranteed our human rights. It's not kind people rights. It's not people I agree with rights. It's not people I like rights. These are rights for everybody who is human. So it is quite disturbing. Having said that, even more disturbing is what these terrorists have been accused of. Yeah. And what we have seen, the way they have devastated lives, Absolutely. The way they have raped and murdered with no mercy. This might be what those soldiers are reacting to, the gravity of the offenses that these terrorists have allegedly committed. So I'm not sure of the background. I'm not sure. I'm not in full possession of the facts here, so I don't really want to comment. Beyond that, I'm wondering what is happening with those on the bottom of this sort of pyramid and how they're not suffocating. Yes. This looks a bit concerning.
Well, to go with your point about why the soldiers may have been reacting this way, we'll take another story and another development, a video showing passengers abducted during the recent attack of the ill-fated Kaduna-Abuja train, appealing to the federal government to come to their rescue, has gone viral. Let's take a look.
I'm talking on behalf of the students. Government should please hear our cry and come to our aid. Thank you.
Which school are you from?
I'm a student of Kaduna State University.
I'm Gladys Brume, an ex-staff of Defense Industries Corporation of Nigeria. What happened on Monday was needless if the government would have a listening ear and accede to what the populace are talking about.
Well, there are a lot of people in that video. I mean, apparently there's an alleged INEC official, as you can see, students, and also the MD that was recently released.
It's here. I don't know what we'll call this, but this is war. And I'm glad that when Vice President Osibanjo was declared today, he said something. He said President Buhari that has served in peace and in war. So I'm happy that with that line, at least they acknowledge that this is war. Because when you look at it, this is barbaric. This is frightening. I remember when the students of Afaka, School of Agric Mechanization, were attacked. You remember what we said then, Orji, that they dare not go to the Defense Academy. Have they not gone to that Defense Academy to abduct soldiers? You remember, sometime last year, there was a prayer held in Kaduna for peace and security on the highway. And the imams decided to use the train, not the highway, back to Abuja because they felt the trains were safe. So this same cloak of safety now has been broken with this train attack. What the government must do is they must act. I hear they are talking to them. We must bring these people back home quickly, whatever it would take. And we must rejig. I don't like even using the word rejig architecture because what have we been rejigging all this while? I want results. We must do everything to ensure that this doesn't happen again. This is same on Nigerian soil, and you're seeing terrorists sitting at their back. Oji, as all of this goes on, we forget in a hurry that not all the Chibok girls have returned home.
Yes.
And this is close to 8 years. Not all the Chibok girls have returned home. This 7.5 years. Only God knows what will become the lot of these ones. I will just pray that they are safe, that they are done with the negotiation on time, which they might want to admit, but it's an indication that they will pay ransom. You can see the man over there. I think that's the...
that's the bank MD.
The bank MD. He finally paid a ransom to secure himself. So we are at war in Nigeria. Let's not deceive us. And that's why I beg these presidential candidates, rather than running around a football field, how about them run around to ensure that insecurity problem is solved in Nigeria? How about them run around to ensure that the economic problem is solved once and for all in Nigeria, rather than running around football field? We have problem. There's fire on the mountain. This is not good.
Dr. Bati, your take on both stories?
Yes, I think the two videos are related. While it is possible for you to look at the first video and say, oh, there is a violation of human rights here, because, this is what Amnesty International talks about violation of human rights in Nigeria. Then, of course, if you look at it, another thing to say is this is the best way to arrest people. These soldiers, I know they are not policemen. Don't they have handcuffs? Why must they pack people like a sardine? But when you look at it further again, even in a war situation, the Geneva Convention of 1949 even spells out how you treat, prisoners of war. And the basic ingredient of the Geneva Convention of 1949 is that even when people are captured, either they are combatants or non-combatants in a war situation, they are entitled to a certain level of humane treatment. However, I'm not making a case for terrorists, just stating the principles. When you now look at the other video, the second one, showing those Nigerians who were traveling from Abuja to Kaduna, and the train that they took became a train to hell because this is hellish.
Yes.
This is, no human being should be subjected to this. Some of those people sitting down there, some of them are executives. Even if they are not executives, they are human beings.
Yes.
And they find themselves in this situation whereby they don't know what tomorrow will bring to them. So if you look at this, very sad, portrayal of the condition in which these abducted persons have found themselves, then you will say that there should be no mercy for any terrorist, which is the point sustained by the governor of Kaduna State, who says, look, government knows the whereabouts of these terrorists, these bandits, and that the appropriate thing to do is to flush them out and deal with them. Okay? So if you place the two side by side, principle on one side, but the other thing is that the reality of act of terror in Nigeria, has driven everybody to an edge. And I hope that those persons that were arrested, and packed like sardines, that the military will probably hand them over to the police and make sure that they face the full wrath of law. Because what happens otherwise in Nigeria is that many persons will be arrested and there will be extrajudicial killing. And I hope that, the military hierarchy will investigate this video and make sure that there has been no case of extrajudicial killing. Even when you have not committed an offense, an average security agent in Nigeria will threaten to waste you. Okay? Not to talk of terrorists, who have been arrested while sabotaging the country of their birth.
Well said, Dr. Bati. Let's take another story. Since Rotimi Amaechi, Minister of Transportation, declared his intention to run for president in 2023, concerns have been raised about his continued stay in office. On Saturday, the minister formally announced his desire to run for the highest office in the country and became the first political appointee of President Muhammadu Buhari to declare his bid. A video showing the minister jogging around the venue of his Port Harcourt declaration went viral over the weekend. Let's take a look before we take some reactions. Well, you know, there are a lot of stories that have come out from this. Well, we'll just take a quick tweet from Abdul Mumuni, who wrote, "It is unfair to Minister Amaechi for some people to think by running around the stadium he was trying to mock the age of incumbent President Buhari, brand new APC chairman Abdullahi Adamu, and incoming President Alhaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I believe he was only trying to save time." Dr. Vati, this is quite funny. The tweet was hilarious. But I think the major issue is whether or not he's going to step down from office. That's the concern at this point.
Okay, two things here. You know, Minister Amaechi says he's running for president, and he literally, you know, tried to run for it, you know, running around the stadium. I guess, you know, out of excitement, although some people say he's trying to show that he's fit. Some people have gone a step further to say, well, maybe every presidential aspirant should be made to run around, you know, the stadium so that we'll know who has stamina or who does not have. But I think what is more important is what each aspirant brings to the table. And again, you know, before now, he had denied that he wasn't running when, you know, his supporters launched what they call an 84-page document. And then shortly after, he has now decided that he's running. Well, we should be more interested in his ideas, you know, and we should engage him and other aspirants at the level of ideas. The second thing is a reference to Section 84, subsection 12, which is contentious, you know, considering the fact that the National Assembly kicked against the decision of a high court sitting in Umuahia to decide to ask the Attorney General of the Federation to delete that section. But the counsel to the National Assembly, Kayode Ajulo, has sought the leave of court, you know, to be joined in the suit and to go on appeal. Because if you are not a party to his suit, as, you know, the National Assembly was not in that particular case in Umuahia, then you seek the leave of that particular court, you know, to be joined in the matter. And I think that has been granted. So the matter will still go on appeal. So it's a very contentious matter, but I think it's important for everybody that is involved to err on the side of caution. And I hope Minister Amaechi will have sought the advice of his lawyers. Well, the existing constitutional provision, Section 6, 107, 131, and all of that, where it's better for him not to rely on that. It's better for him to err on the side of caution, as we saw in the party convention, in the party event in Abuja that produced the new executives of the party. However, I think he still has time. The primary is next month, I think, a month from now. So he still has a window within which he can put down his letter of resignation. Because having declared, sitting still in that position of minister will be a great distraction for him, for government. And he may also be accused of conflict of interest. So those three issues, you know, beyond even the idea of Section 84.12. And if he does not resign, I think the onus is on President Muhammadu Buhari to tell his team, because I guess there are others in the cabinet or in the government who would like to run for one position or the other. The president should just give an instruction. Whoever is running for election should submit his letter of resignation. Simple matter. He has the power to hire and fire, and his political appointees cannot be sitting in office and at the same time be running for positions.
Well said.
Okay, an exemption to that, of course, is the vice president, because he's not a political appointee, he's an elected person.
We shall take our final story. Discussing the passing of popular gospel musician Osinbajo, who died over the weekend reportedly from throat cancer. In the wake of her death, Frank Edwards, a gospel singer, took to social media to claim that the musician's death was caused by an unreasonable human, while other social media users have alleged that her death was due to domestic violence. Nwachukwu's death has prompted calls for investigations by many Nigerians, including Obiageli Ezekwesili, a former Minister of Education who took to Twitter on Sunday to demand that churches take matters related to violence against women seriously. Tundu Abiola, over to you on the story. This is so heartbreaking. They have allegedly, reports are circulating that her husband, who has been, identified or who has been accused of, her murder, have been arrested by the police. I guess he was arrested yesterday, and they're still investigating the matter. It is so sad.
I read that report, and I also read really disturbing alleged details of the awful, appalling abuse that she suffered at the hands of her husband, who you've just said reportedly was arrested. But the fact of the matter is, churches do speak against domestic violence against women in general. I'm sure some individual churches might need to do a lot more, but the issue is that it's very difficult for a woman to leave when she's been abused for different reasons.
Yes.
Before you get to the point where a man is beating a woman, he has broken her emotionally, spiritually, just in every way, whereby she as well accepts that she somehow deserves this and she has no choice. A lot of women also don't have the resources, whether financial or emotional, to get up and walk out of their marriage. It's not the easiest thing to do. Also, the most dangerous time in a marriage that involves physical violence is when a woman wants to leave. That is precisely when that man will snap and kill you. So there's a lot more that goes into it. It's easy to blame the church, which is not what Dr. Ezekwesili is doing, mind you. She's actually just saying that it should be done. But I've heard some people blaming the church. No. There's also parents, the betrayal of parents who are supposed to take care of you and protect you, sending their daughters and sons back to their abusers because they don't want the stigma, they don't want the scandal of a divorce. Then you're going to have the stigma and the scandal of a funeral. And people just don't think about it. And also, I just think a lot of women as well think, oh, for the sake of my children, let me stay and be beaten, not understanding the damaging impact that that has on the children. And now, if this husband is convicted of murder, the law of the land in southern Nigeria is that he will be sentenced to death. Whether or not he premeditated her murder, whether he intended to murder her, if you commit anything that could cause grievous bodily harm and the person dies in the process, that's section 316 of the Criminal Code, you will be sentenced to death. That's section 319. What then happens to the children that she might have been thinking she was protecting? It's a tragedy all around.
Let the law take its course. Rufai.
For me, things like this, please, it's a failure of society. Society has failed. And I'd like to say this out there to every woman out there. Please, the moment he starts to beat you, know he's not for you. And I know it takes a lot of courage, but you need to find it to live that marriage. It is better to be alive than to be dead and be talking about in past tense. This is very hard. From my job as being a radio presenter and sort of like hosting a show where you cancel a lot of people, it is always very hard because even when you make the move to get the woman out of the house, then they ask you, where do I go? Then they tell you you don't have economic powers. And before you know it, when they reconcile with the man, you become the enemy. And that's why we must set up homes where we can shield women that have faced violence. We must set up support groups and systems to help them.
They exist.
And society in general must speak up against things like this because it's a failure of society.
Thank you, Rufai. Well, may her soul rest in peace.
Amen.
That's all I have for you on What's Trending today. See you tomorrow.